All right, what's up, everyone, and welcome to our Friday night Bible study and discussions. We're doing something real different this month for the month of February, from Love Month. We are switching over from doing Bible studies to just having a discussion. This particular month is geared towards love, affection, all that good stuff. But what we are going to do is we are going to talk to singles. If you're familiar with my podcast or familiar with what we got going on, you know that we are in the middle of or kicking off our virtual date night series where me and my wife, we have set up virtual date nights with four amazing couples all across this great nation. And I didn't want to just limit it to the married couples because this month is all about relationships and love and all that good stuff. But I wanted to look out for the singles. And that's what we're talking about today. That's pretty much all the guests that I have today. We have some amazing guests. We have some dope guests. We have some very, very beautiful individuals that are represented on today. And I want to appeal to you right now. If you're watching this, please share this with all of your friends, all of your loved ones, whoever is single, whoever just needs some encouragement, or whoever is feeling that, or not feeling Love Month right now. Go ahead and share. Go ahead and and just do all those good things. So with that being said, I want to get it kicked off. I'm going to bring up our first guest. The first person I want to bring up, she will be with us every single week. When I initially met this person on Clubhouse the other day, she is a certified matchmaker. And the reason why I started with her is because of her experience, because of her background. Because I am so honored to have her here with us and to be a part of this podcast or this episode or this discussion. You guys are going to love her. You're going to love hearing from her. I'm just going to stop talking because I can just go on and on and on. Michelle, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Let us know who you are. Give us some information about you. Go ahead and just tell everybody what you're all about.
Amazing. Thanks for having me. My name is Michelle Apples. I am a certified matchmaker and dating coach. I also host a podcast called An Apple a Day. So that's really fun. And I just love what I do. I love getting to help singles and Christian singles and just really help elevate their dating experience.
That's awesome. I know when we were in the Clubhouse meeting the other day, I just kind of fell in love with what you were doing and what you were telling everyone in the group about. And that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to bring you on, because I feel like you have a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of experience, and I just really want you to be a part of this. So I'm excited. I am very excited to have you on. You are a very special guest. The next guest we have is another person who is going to be with us every single Friday in this month, along with Michelle. You guys know her. She has been a part of this podcast. She is a friend to the podcast, and she is also a great friend to me and my wife. Those who know Felicia Ashford, come on up in here, Felicia. You guys remember her from the Vote Your Values panel. She is an amazing individual. I'm going to stop there and just let her gloat about her glory.
Thank you. Honored to be here. I am so excited. I know this is going to be such a dope experience. As you all may know, like he said, my name is Felicia. I also have my own podcast called A Dose of Fee, and we are actually going to be kicking off our post-Love Month come March. So I was so excited to do this and, be a part of this opportunity once it was brought to me, because it literally goes right into what I'll be doing. So I'm not going to talk for too long. I'm going to let him introduce the next guest, but I know that you guys are in for a treat, and I am so excited.
Yeah, you guys are definitely in for a treat. I'm in for a treat. I'm single. I mean, I'm not single. I'm married. God, let me not say that, because my wife will definitely come out the room and kill me. I am married. We have kids. We love each other a lot. This is not for me. I just want to make that clear. This is not for me. This is for the singles. This is for you guys. I'm opening up my platform for you guys because I really want to focus on the singles for some odd reason. I really want the singles to get some love this month. So the next person I'm going to bring up is an accomplished author. She is someone who I have met through a networking event, and we connected through Instagram. I initially put the post out there, and she reluctantly agreed to come on and be a part of this great panel discussion. She's an author. She is Miss Sassy, the author. I'll go ahead and bring her up. Come on up here, Shannon. How you doing?
Hi. This is so awesome. So I'm Shannon. I currently write under the pen name Miss Sassy, the author. I actually debuted my first, second, and third novel all in 2020. I figured I would make the pandemic work to my benefit. I am a mother. I have 3 children. They're not really children no more. My oldest is 21, and my youngest is almost 15. So they're practically grown and then out of here. But yeah, I'm just excited. I think this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, this is really going to be awesome. It's going to be really good. So I'm excited to have the 3 of you on, of course. You guys are, just great individuals. But I'm also excited to have on some additional dope individuals. Now, this person I'm about to bring up, we met this week through a mutual friend. Shout out to Brandy Banks. She is a friend of the podcast as well in the forgiveness movement. When we connected, we had a great conversation. And one of the things about her is she is unique. She is a beautiful individual inside and out. I'm going to bring her up. Hey, Ashley, come on and introduce yourself.
Hey, so my name is Ashley Campbell. Like he said, my friend and coworker Brandy threw me under the bus when he said, "Hey, do y'all know some singles?" and tagged me immediately. So, hey, that's why I'm here.
She didn't throw you under the bus. Just a little bit. But yeah, we're excited to have you on, Ashley. We really are. You're a dope individual, and I think your insight is going to give a lot to this panel, to this discussion. And like I said, I'm super excited to have each and every one of you on. The next person I'm going to bring up, she is someone that I grew up with. I've known this girl for a very long time. She's known me since I was, I won't say in diapers, but she's known me since I was a kid. She can probably tell some embarrassing stories about me. I know some embarrassing stories about her, but she's a great individual. She's a great friend. We have, like I said, we've been connected for many years. Faith Caudle, come on up here. How you doing, Faith?
I'm well.
Doing good. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know who you are and what you do.
Thank you for having me off. My name is Faith Caudle. I guess I found out about it through your post online. I said, I guess that would be me, single. So I said, all right, let's try it. And so I'm an artist, a visual artist. I paint. And so Strokes of Faith is my Instagram for my art. So that's me.
You said Strokes of Faith?
Yes, Strokes _ Faith. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, I'm going to add that to the description. I want everybody to see what you guys are doing and support it. I didn't know you was a visual artist and out here just making art and doing Strokes of Faith. I didn't know that, Faith. It's not in your bio.
You're right. It's not. No, it is. It's in my Instagram bio.
I didn't see it. Oh well. All right. So last but certainly not least, we have the only man that's holding it down on this panel. This is my brother. This is my guy. So ladies, please be kind to him. Don't gang up on him. He knows how to get himself into a corner and get himself out. This is the Bishop elect. He's a good friend of mine. He's a little choppy right now. Come on up here, Bishop Rod Butler. How you doing, great man? I don't know if his internet connection is great or not. We're gonna pray for the bishop's internet connection.
Yo, my internet sucks.
So can you? There we go. There you go.
Am I here?
Go ahead and introduce yourself, Bishop.
I'm Rod Butler. Nothing special. I love Jesus. I love people. I've been single for about 30 years now. So we just just out here, doing what it does.
Doing what it does. Go ahead and tell us about your podcast and the things you got going on, Bishop.
Yeah, so I am the host of Fat Boy Joy. It's mind, body, and soul. Fat covers the body, boy covers the mind, soul covers the joy. So we talk about certain things, pertaining to life, as it pertains to the whole man, with the focus on fat boys. So,
Fat boys need love too, bro.
Hey, everybody needs love.
And we do have a special guest that's joining us by the way of South Africa, Trish Govender. She will more than likely be with us next weekend or next Friday for a discussion. We're excited to have her be a part of this panel as well. This panel is open to everybody. So if you're watching this and you want to be a part of the panel, please reach out to me. I will get you connected and we'll just, you'll be a part of the panel for either next Friday or whatever Friday that you want to be a part of. This is nothing that you have to commit to every single Friday, but if you would love to, awesome, great. We would love to have you. But let's go ahead and get it kicking and get it started. So the first, I would say, discussion point, we're going to kind of let it flow from here. From the initial post, I posted Love Month with a big X in it. And I did that because when I spoke to a couple of you guys, you told me just how much you dread this month and how much you just love this month as well. You're tired of hearing some of the stuff. And I won't say you're tired of hearing like relationships or anything like that, but you're just tired of hearing the same thing over and over. So I'm going to kick it off with this question. Why do you dread Love Month? Why do you dread the month of February? And not everybody raise your hand at once or speak at once. But if you want to answer, I'll go ahead and lay down the ground rules real quick. If you want to respond, just put your hand up. And I'll call on you. I'm moderating and all that good stuff. Just put your hand up. I'll call on you, and that's good. So don't make me call nobody. Go ahead, Faith.
I guess it's the Walmart displays for me. It's a bit much, it's a little excessive with all the teddy bears and all that. No, honestly, it's just like a constant reminder of like alone. It's like, okay, gosh. I think that's pretty much for me. Just the constant reminder everywhere you go, the big cards, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like I'm all for like when you're in a relationship, treating your spouse or your significant other and all that, but like it's just when you're not feeling it, and that's
yeah. I can see that. Shannon, what you want to add to the conversation?
I'm just going to piggyback off of that. I think that this month just emphasizes, or specifically Valentine's Day, emphasizes the last 364 that you've been wanting anyway. And then you have a day that's dedicated to what it is that you want. It's a representation of something you've wanted all year. And so it's not just that one day. It's like I'm already dealing with 364 of being single. And now here's a day dedicated to it. And so it just kind of adds a little bit more, fuel to the fire.
I can see that. So to your point, with it being 365 and all that, do you feel that same way throughout the year, or is it just because Valentine's Day is in the month of February? That's a yes.
I think it's throughout the year. I think if you want somebody and you are wanting a relationship, it's throughout the year. And it's just that Valentine's Day just makes it a lot more real. The world is celebrating on one day that you're not celebrating.
Right. Anyone else want to chime in?
Yeah.
I can speak to that. I don't hate Valentine's Day. I'm a big fan of love, which is why I do what I do. But I do think that the displays, I can attest that it's a lot. Where is the Singles Day? Like, let's have a Singles Day where you just have like these big Walmart shelves full of like stuff for single people. I'm all for that.
Yeah, Felicia, you want to piggyback off of that?
So I will be the eyeball out here. With me being single, I actually don't mind Valentine's Day. I mean, to me, I look at February as more than just Valentine's, the love month. I actually have taken a different approach with it, and I really celebrate Black History Month during February. And I know for some people it's like, well, that's not what we're talking about. But I mean, it's definitely a great way to put your energy somewhere else, to kind of look at that and indulge in that. So maybe if I could give you guys any advice, instead of paying attention to the displays, sharpen up on some history and some facts and, maybe some things that you don't know. So that way you can turn it around to make it just more of an appreciation month. While you're single. I mean, I know for me, I have 2 children. My son just turned 6 and my baby girl is 4. So I really celebrate them and then shower them with love also. I have this thing where I haven't started yet, but I will be posting hearts on their doors with things that I love about them. So, sorry, that's them. But things that I love about them on their door, just to kind of put a spin on it. So I look at all the little cards and the cute little candies for them. And, so Valentine's Day doesn't faze me.
Yeah. Ashley, do you have anything you want to add?
For me, it's not so much the displays or whatnot. They are overwhelming. But more so for me, it's I guess it brings back to the family, like, hey, you're over 30 now, you're single, when you gonna get married, when you gonna have kids. So that's kind of where Love Month makes me dread it, because it seems like it's emphasized more from my family as to your time is ticking.
Yeah. Does anyone else feel that way? Like it's like a huge pressure on you to kind of find somebody or to get somebody? Like, do you feel that pressure? Bishop, I see you shaking your head.
My mom is actually really pressuring me for grandchildren, which is really weird. And she went even to the point was like, yeah, you don't even have to be married now. I just want grandkids. I'm like, we ain't going that far. But yeah, so like now that I'm almost 30, it's getting a little nerve wracking. I'm a little nervous because I'm almost 30. And so I'm like that midlife place and like, I haven't settled down. I haven't started a family. So, it's a constant reminder of that. So I would say.
Yeah. So let's shift gears a little bit. So you guys talked about how you kind of dread it, but you kind of love it. And then Felicia added how she, kind of takes a different approach to it, to Love Month. And Rod kind of hit a great, Trisha's funny. She said, "Oh, sweet mama Bishop, I have a younger brother who's married again." And I think that, that's kind of where I wanted to go with that. Does seeing other people in relationships, other people who are married, other people who got it all going before you, does that kind of add, I won't say pressure, but does it kind of add any fuel to your motive or any feelings of why am I not married? What's wrong with me? Like, do you guys feel that way? Like, what's wrong with me or anything like that? Did I get too deep? Because y'all. All right, I see the hands going up. All right. Let's see. Who had it? I think Felicia had her hand up first.
I didn't want to just rush into it.
Go ahead.
I didn't want to rush into it. So I think at one point I used to. It's not so much now. Like, I'm not sure where everybody else's age is. I see young Bishop here is almost at 30, and I'm really, really close to 40. And so I just think at a different age, yes, there was a point and I thought maybe something was wrong with me. And I've been married before too, so I be really thinking like it's something wrong with me. So, but I mean, it's not so much as now, but yeah, I think that when you see other people's relationships, you're like, okay, well, why am I not in one? And then you kind of get past it. You get a little bit older and you realize nothing is ever as perfect as it seems. especially when we're doing posts, especially when we're doing, vacations or dinners. You don't see the argument on the way to the restaurant. You don't see the coming out of the house before the car.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What you see is that one perfect date night picture. So,
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Yeah. Y'all go ahead and jump in. Go ahead and jump in. Rod, be a gentleman.
To piggyback off of that, I think we see it a lot, and it's something that we aspire to have, but you see also the ones that don't work. And if you're like me, you want to be one and done. I don't want to do this again. So I think to me now it's more important that I have the right one than to have it. So, even though it's pressure to all my best friends are married or engaged, and I'm like out here it's just me. It's okay, because I'd rather, take my time and then make sure that it's the last one, it's the first and the last, than to do it and then you have to do it again. So I think that's more of a value to me than anything else.
All right. Go ahead, Felicia.
What I would say is, like the other young lady said, I have also been married and I'm now divorced. So I really have a different approach when it comes down to dating in itself and in general. So since I've been divorced since 2017, I've really taken time to myself. So that way I won't have the thoughts of what's wrong with me. Is it me? Am I the problem? Because I think what we do is, especially as single women, we beat ourselves up because we compare ourselves to everyone else. Social media is horrible. They have set the tone for how we should date, how we should look, how we should treat our boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, children. And it's all according to this make-believe internet standard, right? You have to be this place by this age, this place by this time. And I honestly feel like that is a bunch of mess. You are really on your own timeline, and you really have to trust that God has a divine purpose for your life. You are where you are right now for a reason. That is one thing that I have had to come in agreement with, me taking the time to myself. So I really stopped and I'm not going to front. I'm not perfect by no means. It took me a while to get here. Okay. I also had those thoughts. Is it me?
Mm-hmm.
Is this wrong? Like, did I do this? And then I had to stop and think like, nah, girl, they want you. And again, I'm not perfect, but spending that time with myself, has allowed me to feel free to, enjoy my own company, to say that, no, this wasn't me. And I'm walking in my own perfect time, on my own timeline. And when that man does come, honey, that would be the last one. Okay. But like I said, I just really just see things differently. I see dating differently. I see, self-love and self-worth completely different. Once you go through an experience, such as a divorce, you tend to build yourself up in a different way, in a different light. And it comes with a different level of maturity and strength and peace also. So, yeah, I think I'm fine where I'm at right now.
Now, the question to married people who was married before, and now you're divorced. Do you? It may be a basic question, but do you feel more free now that you're single than you were when you were married?
I mean, I don't necessarily know how to answer that question because, you're single, so you're free.
Like free as far as like, okay, that may have been bad. But I didn't communicate the way it's processing in my head. But like when I say like free, like, like the freedom, do you feel like that pressure or the freedom to love, like to love, do you feel that freedom now than you did when you were married? Like I know when you're married, that love is different because you have a love for that one person. And like now that you're single, you've experienced love in a different aspect. And now is that like freeing now that you're in a different space, that you are thinking about love in a different way? Does that make sense?
Kind of. Based on what I just took from that is, are you able to love differently? Like
love in a different way. So go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Who was speaking?
I think Shannon got froze.
Shannon froze. Go ahead, Felicia.
Oh no, I was just saying, based off of what I just took.
I think it was. I can't hear her though.
Yeah, I
Go
think.
ahead. Yeah, Shannon.
Here.
Okay, go ahead, Felicia.
So basically, what I just gathered from what you're saying, am I able to love differently now? So is that what you mean?
Yeah, to that nature, yeah.
Yeah, so definitely. I learned a lot from my marriage, and it has definitely shaped the way that I'll be going into a different relationship. You tend to, with being married, you take an experience of you being married and then take an experience of being by yourself. This is for me. You tend to set different standards. And I like to use the word standards instead of expectations, because initially when you go into something, we're all taught to have expectations of how you should be treated. So that changed for me personally. I don't have expectations anymore. I have a standard, and you're going to either meet the standard or you don't. If you don't, sorry, no love lost. It is what it is. So my love is different. I've learned what it means to actually love a person, and for that love to not have a reason why. You can't have a reason why you love it, because once that reason why fades, or if it does fade, you no longer love that person because it was contingent upon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. So my love, like I said, back to the beginning, it has changed. The reasons why have changed, the motives, the outcome, all of that has changed. So, and I believe it's changed for the better. My mindset towards it has even changed, and that's key to me.
Shannon, go ahead. What were you about to say?
Well, I was thinking more of when you was asking, do I feel freer? I think it's a growth thing. So right now, when you're single, I think there's it's a fine line in either way, married or single. Your love for someone being married is looked at a little bit different, because love definitely is a choice in that manner. It's not so easy to be able to dismiss if for some reason I misunderstood something. And then, of course, piggybacking off of Felicia, when it comes to standards and expectations, I'm not going to say I don't have any expectations, but I definitely have more standards than what I had before I got married the first time. And some things that I did not put in place, just within myself, that I definitely have in place now. But I still do have expectations. The thing is that they're not unstated. Now I've been more forthcoming with what I am expecting. Because the expectation for me is the part of the growth when we go forward. It is an expectation that the person that I'm with, or that I meet, if you're serving God now and tithing, my expectation is that you continue to do that. That's my expectation, and that it grows, that you continue. If you are starting a business or you're already doing, my expectations that you continue it. So even though the standard right now may be to have the business, to be serving God, the expectation is that is your will to keep going. And so it's those little things like that. But I don't necessarily know if it's more freeing. I think that either way it goes, you're gonna have some type of level where you have to make a decision. You know what I mean? When it comes to love, I mean, I don't necessarily think about it as being free. I think it's just a different stage.
Yeah. So you guys talked about it a little bit, standards. Do you guys feel that your standards are kind of too high for what you're looking for in a person? Or do you feel like you just don't want to lower your standards? Or do you feel like there's nobody out here that meets any of your standards?
You gonna lower the standard.
I'll answer that real quick. So just did we lose him? I think we did. That's okay. We'll keep going. There he is.
There he go again.
Well, for everyone else watching, I think for me, I got married when I was 19, 20 years old. So I definitely think there's definitely been a raise of standards because life teaches you just in general. It's just stuff that you don't know at 19 that you know at 38, 28, 25. And so I definitely think that the bar has definitely been raised, but not something that's not obtainable. And I don't do anything where it comes to a standard that's superficial. Everything that I'm looking for is gonna be spiritual. It's gonna be in your character and in your morals. I don't have a standard of height, tall, being weighed a certain weight and self. I don't have a specific background other than Christianity. You need to be a Christian, but but I don't have a race thing or anything like that. So yeah, I just think it just changes as you grow. You're back.
I had to go get my dinner. Sorry, y'all. But so, who else wanted to chime in on that? Because Bishop has started talking. Okay, I see hands going up. Faith, and then Michelle. We'll go from there.
Yeah, I just wanted to co-sign. I feel like my standards are more so based on your character as opposed to like what you look like, what you do. It's more about who you are as a person. Like, what is your heart like? Do you have a pure heart? That's my top of the top. And then I think for me, my biggest thing was the boundaries that I set within the relationship is where I had trouble in the past. So I think going forward, that's right there with standards for that person, whoever that person is my boundaries, because they kind of go hand in hand at this point for me. So it's not so much do you meet my standards, but do you meet my standard of your character, and how can I say it? How does that translate into the person that I am, and where pretty much just like, am I going to be able to maintain my character with you as well?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Michelle, what you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think my standards are quite high, but I also think that, if I didn't have like that standard of like, you have to have faith and God needs to be at the center of this relationship. I mean, I could go out and find 50 secular boyfriends right now, but to go find a man of faith who puts God in the center of everything, now my standard is so much higher than the average person. Because I'm not going towards culture. I'm going away from culture. And anytime you go away from the grain and go away from what everyone else is doing, of course your standard is going to be higher. So I think that is like, as a Christian single woman, that's definitely a challenge that I see my clients face, that I personally face, because not a lot of people meet that standard.
That's actually a really good point, and it's really, I think that it kind of, it's a little sad because there's not a lot of people out here, especially when we see people who claim to be Christians. Have you guys encountered people who said they were Christian but actually did not live up to the standard of being a Christian? How has that like really affected your dating life? Like, Michelle, you hit on it perfectly just now, but like, how has that affected your dating life? Do you constantly find different ones to deal with, or do you kind of just pull back and say, you know what, God, I trust you. I'm just going to wait for you to send me somebody, because and the Bible says a man that finds a wife find a good thing for the women, but for the brother that's up here, it's like, do you wait for God to send someone your way, or like what? How does that? What does that look like?
I think.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Michelle. Then Bishop.
I feel like, there's an element of like obviously praying for a spouse and trusting God and knowing that it's going to be in God's timing and not your own. But there is also that faith without works is dead, right? So I can't sit in my house being like, God, just send me a husband and expect him to come knocking on the door, because chances are that's probably not going to happen. But again, like Faith said, like, I need to see your character. I need to see your morals. I need to see your values. So maybe that means not jumping into something right away until I've taken a step back and I'm able to see that from an outside view and being able to watch you in different elements to make sure that your character is where it needs to be an addition to my life.
That's good. That's good. Bishop, then I saw Felicia's hand go up.
Yeah, I think the key thing is first finding out and knowing who we are in God, and then we'll know what we need to continue to be that person or to become greater. That complements who we are in God, that complements the thing that God has for us to do in our purpose. And so for a while, and even still now, some days I don't know if I have a Paul ministry and you just want me to be by myself and do this thing and follow you through. That scares me. But that's the fact that that's a possibility, but I'm trying to steer away from that. But knowing who you are in God and then knowing what your purpose is, it actually helps you eliminate what's not acceptable. Not so much finding it, but you really know that ain't it, so it helps definitely knowing who you are in God and knowing what you're supposed to do for him and your purpose.
Good. It's funny, while you were talking, what popped in my mind was he saw the best in me when everything else around me. Don't he look like Marvin Sapp, y'all? I'm sorry. That's a great point, though. Go ahead, Felicia.
You ain't have to do him like that.
Thank you.
You did not have to do that.
I hit it all the time.
That's my boy,
I've been saying it in my head this whole entire time, but it's okay. But, I just wanted to piggyback off of what Melissa said. I really feel like that you hit on something that is so essential when it comes down to dating, especially with women, and being able to judge the character and not letting anything get into the way of that. And I don't know if I'm jumping too far, if this is on your notes, TJ, because you didn't send us anything, which is cool. Element of surprise. But I feel like that's why you should really refrain from having sex while you're dating, because it prevents you from being able to see who the person really is. Their character is everything, and those, there could be certain things that are overlooked because you're looking at things through lustful eyes and not really looking at who they are. Like, you start overlooking all the red flags, and you start blinking them away, and you know that they're there, but you blink them away because you want to see what you want to see, right? So you're not able to really judge that character properly. And I feel like that's a lot of what happens to us as women. And again, I can only speak as a woman because that's what I am. That's what happens. We get so caught up in finding the one, and then it's like we give ourselves, and we're not able to judge that character properly anymore. It's like now it's really biased and going towards, what we want instead of what's really in front of us.
That's a really great point. And it's funny, I literally was just thinking about jumping to that subject of sex, because you really summed it up. I really don't need to go to the point, but what popped in my mind, and you guys are doing a great job and hitting some great points, was the concept. So say you find somebody and they're a great individual, y'all been dating for maybe 2 years. Would you consider, and it's kind of going with the standards thing and everything that we were talking about, the term shacking isn't in the Bible, but would you guys consider living with someone for a little bit before you jumped into a marriage with them? And I know I'm getting somewhere. Yeah, give all real answers.
Okay, so to be completely honest with you, I don't feel like that's a problem, to be honest. I mean, I know that, we shouldn't be shacking up and, having premarital sex and, all this other stuff. But I really feel like people are nasty, so it's like, how are you really going to know how this person lives, you know, before you say I do? You know, I feel as though that if you do decide to live together before getting married, it shouldn't be oh, we're living together for like a whole 2 years. I feel like there should be some boundaries on that. If we've gotten engaged and we decide to live together at least 6 months before we decide to get married, as long as marriage is still our goal, I feel like that's completely fine. I mean, you know, once you get married, there's no divorcing because they're dirty. Anybody can keep a clean house for company, but it's how you live consistently. Is that toilet clean? You know, are
It's
the
that ring around the toilet.
days, you know, who raised you and how? I need to know these things. So yeah, that's just my feeling.
Anybody else want to chime in? I see your face.
Yeah, I think it's case by case.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, Faith and then Shannon. I'm sorry, Shannon. I didn't see your hand go up. It's a slight lag, so that's on me.
Gotcha. So I think it's a case by case. It depends. Because I've been in relationships, you're gonna be at that person's house. Like if you're at the point where you're about to get married or engaged or whatever, you should be there consistently. So like not just on a, set up a date kind of thing, but like stopping by just cause kind of thing. So I feel like you should, it just depends. It depends. I feel like you can still find out who a person is outside of being, in the home with them. It'll be a little harder, but it's doable, I feel.
Shannon?
Yeah, I guess I'm the complete opposite. I would say no. Most of that has just been because I've been married before. So and how that transitioned into something else. So that would not be something I'll be doing again. I do understand how little things can be, how this person lives, how they how they clean, what is their regimen. But at the same time, I kind of feel the way that Faith says, it's like it should never be just one time that you see it on just day night. You should be able to pop up. You should be able to see something, especially if you're looking for it, of consistencies on how they live, how they groom, and things like that. But it's more on the thing of if I'm in the same position that you are, where both of us are seeking God into what's supposed to be a potential marriage, understanding that marriage should be a platform for God to stand on. First of all, I don't believe in 2 years. I don't think it'll take you 2 years for that. There should be some things that are in place where, as you're moving forward, even possibly seeking what they call pre-engagement counseling or whatever, where you should be able to be very much open and transparent with what it is you do and do not want, and if this person is supposed to walk in love and purpose with you according to what God has for your life. So I feel the potential on that is a little bit different, only because I'm looking for something specific when it comes to how God is going to reveal this to me, versus looking at the other things, like if not, we're going to get on, we don't want to clean the toilet. We'll have to just work that out. Find yourself. Yeah. We got to work that out. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like marriage is a lot deeper than that on a spiritual level. And how you're going to be advancing the kingdom. And so
you're right. I mean, when we look at relationships, you don't want to just jump into a relationship with no purpose of it being edifying on both levels, both spiritual and physical. You want it to be edifying. But what if, and it's kind of is a piggyback off of that question, what if like you're in a situation where you have to kind of compromise on one of your standards in order to find somebody that is perfect for you? Say like this individual, they check off everything on the box, but except maybe one or two things that you just can't get with. Like you just can't get with them on that, but they check off everything else. Do you feel like you have to compromise to be with them, would you feel like you would have to compromise to be with them? Or do you feel that, you should wait until you find a person that checks off all the boxes? Michelle, I saw your hand.
Yeah, I feel like this is literally my last relationship that you're talking about. So definitely have some wisdom here. But I think it has to be a level of compromise from both parties. I think because if it's one person compromising all the time, then there's going to be bitterness and there's going to be resentment in it. Whereas my last relationship, we were so aligned in so many different ways. And we both had Christ at the center of our relationship, and it was really just like a purpose, intentional relationship. But at the end of the day, he had this vision for the future that I didn't really fit into. And it was his vision was so firm in what he wanted and what that looked like that there was no compromise on his end. Whereas me, I'm very flexible. I'm like, I didn't think I'd ever live in Toronto 2.5 years ago. God brought me here. Like if God brings me somewhere, I'm surrendered. I'll go. But I think it needs to be that flexibility and level of surrender on both sides of it.
That's good. That's really good. Go ahead, Bishop.
To back that, it depends on whose standard it is. If it's a God standard, then I can't budge on that. Because it's there for a reason, to keep me safe, or to keep me in place, to keep me in boundary. If something that I've created that, something that I would like to have, there is a level of compromise. But if it's a God standard, then we gotta, as hurtful or hard as it may be, you gotta stick with that.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So what are some deal breakers, or what are some things that you're willing to compromise that's on your list of standards? Say the perfect man or the perfect woman showed up at your door, and she or he were God-fearing, they love the Lord, and your standard is they got to be 6'2", and the brother just made it 6'1". He just made it. Like, what are some of the things? What are some of the things that you would compromise on? What are some of the things that you're willing to say I can deal with that?
I like to say I can deal with anything that can be fixed. What I mean by that is how you dress. I am a sucker for cologne. Oh my goodness. Things like that can be fixed. That compromise, cosmetic things like that. Teeth may be jacked up. You get braces for that. I want to say the things that I am more so not willing to budge on is just like the other lady said, when it comes down to, are you willing to have Christ at the center? Are you willing to pray with me and for me? Because I feel like that is where my last marriage trailed off at. I feel like we started really great at first, and then somewhere along the line, there was this split, and it caused us to split. And I don't want that again. So that for me, religion, well, not necessarily religion, a relationship with Christ more so, that is something that I cannot budge on. Your mindset, because your mindset, your mental plays a huge part in things. I cannot budge on that. Respect, I cannot budge on that. I can't budge on the things that aren't tangible to where I can touch. I can budge on the cosmetic and the things that we can go and buy and spend money on, but you can't spend money on mindset. You can't spend money on a relationship with Christ. You can't spend money on respect, things like that.
That's good. Anyone else want to comment?
Yeah, I think that was really good. I think that's so accurate. And yeah, for me, I mean, if you lined up every guy I've ever dated, they look very different. Like there's nothing similar about them. Short, tall, big, small, brown hair, black hair, every race. Like I don't have, like, for me, character matters. And can I have fun with this person? Is life going to be a fun experience? Can we grow together? If someone's already kind of set in their ways, you can't really grow with them. That's probably not going to work for me. So it's more about character and like what's our life gonna look like together.
That's good. That's really good. I think for when you're looking for someone, the biggest thing that you want to do, you want to look for, as Michelle said, is make sure they have Christ in the center, and that their character is key. Character is key no matter what. And honestly, with this past election, you saw character was key. That's not a slight plug or anything, but but character, it matters a lot, because when you're dealing with someone or courting someone, understanding who they are, how they treat other people, it's a reflected in how they will treat you. Now, 9 times out of 10, I don't say 9 times out of 10, sometimes there are some instances where that won't be the case. Like, people can live a double life. They can act one way towards you and act another way, to everyone else in the outside world. That's one reason why I asked like those kind of line of questions, because I want to see where your minds are as far as, what it is you're looking for. Are you willing to compromise on some things? What standards do you have, and what is it that you're really trying to find in the person? And I think that's where I want to kind of go to. What are you looking for in the person, in the person that you are expected to marry? Because by this time you're dating to get married. You're not looking to date someone long term. You're dating to get married. So what are some of the things that you're looking for in the next person or the next relationship? Go ahead.
Okay.
Y'all can just jump in, because I this is open discussion. Jump in.
It's kind of like what we've been saying in general. The character is like the biggest thing. Like, are you honest? Are you loyal? Are you someone that's teachable, that is not just like my way or the highway, and or stuck in your ways? So just someone that I can grow with and be my like regular weird self with. I'm super weird, so I need someone that's gonna accept all my weirdness. I'm an artist, so but just someone that I could be myself with and grow with, and someone that I can learn from, that can teach me things that I don't know. The physical and all the cosmetic stuff, that's cool, but like, are you going to be there in the darkest moments of my life? Am I going to be able to count on you? That's just their character. I think that would sum it up.
I was having a conversation with some single friends a while ago, and that question came up, and this is the best answer I've ever heard, and it's my answer going in life. I need her to have the fruit of the Spirit. That literally covers everything. Like y'all said, the cosmetic, all that physical things, all that stuff can be adjusted come later, but I need you to be long-suffering. I need you to be patient. I need you to be kind. I need you to be all those things to me, because I can be a handful. I already know this, and I need to be the same things, those same things to her. And so that is what I'm looking for in my wife. I need her to possess all the fruit of the Spirit.
I was going to say something, but I'm not. Let's leave it there, Bishop. Let's leave it there. Anyone else want to jump in? All right. So I think that where I want to go now is I want to kind of do something a little different. I'm going to ask a question, and I want to know your thoughts. Would you be willing or open to go on Married at First Sight? Are you that desperate?
No.
Who's considered it? Y'all wouldn't try it?
What is Married at First Sight?
It's a television show where singles are matched together by experts, and they never met the person. The experts do all the matching, and they set up your wedding day, all this great stuff. And then when the wedding day comes, you meet your match on that day and you're married to them instantly?
Nope.
No?
Dating at first sight?
You said dating at first sight, but not married at first sight?
Right. Not my whole life. That's too much.
I'm a matchmaker and I wouldn't even trust those experts. Let's be real. People are flawed. We're all flawed. We all fall short of the glory of God.
Yeah. So, Michelle, I wanted to ask you to share any insights that you have about being a matchmaker. What do you think would be beneficial or could help people in finding a spouse or finding someone to date or anything like that?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I often see is people have just like what we were talking about, this list of criteria that is more of the physical, where it's they have to be a specific height or have to have a specific color of hair, or I had a conversation with a client recently, and the girl was amazing on her profile, but she was just 2 years too old, and he couldn't see it. And it's just being more open to people that you wouldn't normally consider, because I find that most of the couples that I have set up that I've seen real success stories from, usually their biggest feedback was, I never would have even looked twice or at this person, or I never would have thought this would be my person, because they didn't have all those criteria that I had on my list. So it's just being really open to just meet different types of people, not having so much a list, like have standards, absolutely, values, morals. As a Christian, my standard is like, I need someone who also puts their faith first. But when it comes to the things that don't really matter, it's like, the end of the day, Jesus wouldn't have looked at those things. So why do we fixate on them so much? So just being more open and getting to know people, and stop putting so much pressure on, hey, if I go on one date with this person, this is my future spouse. No, it's one date. You don't even know if you like the person yet. So why are you putting all your cards on the table? And so those would be two things that I would suggest.
Definitely. I love that advice because from the line of questioning, I was asking all these questions, these things, because I want to try to help people to be more open-minded in their search. You're going to find people who they may not fit everything that you are looking for to a T, but they may be the perfect person for you. They may not check off every box, but they are the one that God has intended for you to be. And oftentimes, you may overlook them because they don't match everything, or they may not be appealing to you right off the bat. It's just like when you are, looking for something, or say you're looking for a car, you're gazed on a specific brand and you really want that Mustang, or you really want that what's the terrible car? You really want that Mitsubishi, but that thing will leave you on the side of the road if you get it. But you overlook that Honda. The Honda may not have been pretty, but it checked off everything. It can get you from point A to point B, and it's going to be with you for the rest of your life. I want to kind of encourage you guys the same way that Michelle did. She gave great advice to stay open. Don't be discouraged. I'm a firm believer. Everybody has somebody out there. Your person is out there. Don't lose hope in that. Me and my wife, and I'm not going to, go into our story and things like that. Y'all can tune in and watch it because this is really about y'all. But me and my wife, we've been together for, God knows, for too long. We've been together for 12 years. This is our 12th year. We've been married going into our 8th year. And to be honest, she checked off all the boxes for me. And for her, it was that easy. Like, it was just that easy. And for some people, it is that easy. But, for everybody, it's just not. And so my prayer is that, everybody will be able to find, that person where they can check off all the boxes. It'd be easy. And you may not have to compromise, but what if you do have to compromise? Then just reevaluate some of those things, reevaluate just to make sure that, maybe I'm setting my standard a little too high when it comes to, or maybe they don't have to be 6'2", they can be 6 foot, or maybe they don't have to be certain things, to that nature. Not really saying that you have to dumb down like your beliefs or your faiths or the things that really matter. You want to stay on that. But what you want to add something, Felicia? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, while you're saying that comes with maturity. So you can't. So that whole aspect of, instead of 6'2", they could be 6 feet or even 5'11". That really does come with maturity, and that comes with your mindset developing and understanding that, you may have to kind of tweak some things a little bit and be okay with it. Not everybody is going to understand that. As bad as we want for everybody to be like, listen, that is very unrealistic, some people just aren't going to get that. And it's not going to be until they get to the point where they're just like, you know what? Okay, I'm really tripping. Like, you don't have to have a canary yellow diamond. It could just be a regular diamond, because a diamond is a diamond. And I feel like experience is also going to bring that. Me personally, I know Melissa says she doesn't have a type. I do. I definitely do. Wholeheartedly. But with maturity, I had to understand that my type was actually my look. And it wasn't necessarily my type of man. It was my look. So, that also came with maturity. So when you're dating, you really have to think about things differently, and really, you have to train your mind to think differently. So I hope I'm not talking in circles. I feel like I just did.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I do appreciate you guys being a part of this great panel. Next week, we'll definitely pick things up with whatever you guys want to talk about. You can text me, you can send me whatever topics you have that come to mind. That would be great. Like I said, this is an opportunity for you guys to really display some of the things that you want to talk about those things, and also give encouragement and enlighten some people who are single and maybe walking the same walk that you are. We all can be light to somebody. So before I wrap up, I do want to leave you guys with a quick note, and then I'll go around the room and let you guys say the final word. And that is, Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. All these things will be added unto you. I want you guys to really seek God, in this time of being single. When you're married, when you have a family, when you have kids, it's hard to have that one-on-one, pure, unadulterated relationship with Christ that you had when you were single, because your demands are pulling from all areas. You have kids who need you. You have your wife who needs you. You have, all these aspects of life that comes at you. You start thinking about work. You start thinking about life. These things come at you. But when you're single, you're in a very good position to really just seek God purely for who he is, and to enlarge and I would say more to enhance your relationship with him. I'm married, and I thank God for being married, and I feel that my faith has grown since I've been married. But at the same time, I do see the difference when I was single and how I was going hard for the Lord. And now it was like being single and going hard for the Lord led me to being in this position, led me into being the man of God that I am today. And so I don't want you guys to think that, when you get married, it all kind of goes away. No, it gets better, it gets stronger, it comes with maturity. But at the same time, just work on your relationship with God right now while you're single. While you're just by yourself, seek God, seek him first, pray, meditate, get in your word, read your scripture, and, increase your relationship with him, because you want to be so lost in God that when he sends the person your way, you may not even see them because you've been so lost with God. They see you and they come to you. you want to build your relationship on that, because when they see you and they see how much you love the Lord and you worship and this thing, they're going to come to you and say, I want to be with you because I see your heart is for the Lord. I see how you are inclined. I know that because that's what happened to me. I'm not trying to say all these things that happen to me is going to happen to y'all. I'm 12 years in the game and I'm out of it. I don't even know what it's like to be single right now. And I pray to God that I don't have to find out. But, that's my last little bit of nugget I want to give to each and every one of you guys. I want to go around the room and just have, you guys say a final word. We'll start with Michelle and we'll keep going from there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciated the wisdom that comes from this group. I mean, I know I've never been married before, so hearing from different perspectives was so amazing. So can't wait for next week.
Yeah. Felicia?
I'm ready for next week. I'm really excited to see how this progresses and have us go a little bit deeper, as.
All right, Ashley?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely appreciate you having me. I've learned a lot. It's always great to be able to hear wisdom from other people and their experiences, and hopefully I'll be back.
Yep. Faith?
Yep, I just appreciate being here, and everyone's insight is super helpful in this single life. And I look forward to next time.
Dope. Bishop, what you got?
It was just an absolute pleasure being here, hearing all the different aspects from the backgrounds and different experiences that each of us have gone through to get us to this point. So I really enjoyed it.
Good. Shannon? Miss Sassy?
Can you hear me? I'm having an issue.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think you're still lagging. It's all right.
Can you?
We can hear you, but it's going in and out. we gonna pray that God
I don't think you
fixes the
buffer
demon on your end, because he's just
really
dealing with
great and insightful and just fast.
All right, so I thank you guys for each and every one of you being on. Oh, no problem. All right, so I thank you guys for being on. Trish said, thanks so much. The information shared was valuable and much needed. Looking forward to being a part next week. Definitely some great knowledge and understanding of wisdom. While you guys were talking, Felicia sent over a great topic for next week, which is love languages. If you guys are interested in being a part of that conversation, definitely let me know. You can text me, ping me. We'll get it kicking off with talking about love languages next week. For anyone that's listening, anyone that's watching, you can definitely join in the conversation. We would love to have you on the panel. We're going to get deeper. It's going to get better. And we'll be back next week. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.